Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So I have good news and potentially bad news to share. First, the good news. So the Democratic National Convention is over. It was phenomenal. Harris gave an awesome speech last night. She won over a majority of Pennsylvania voters, by the way, in this CNN panel that they sat and watched this together. They watched her speech together live, and then they gave their feedback. So I would show that to you. I would show you what the panel members said so you could see it for yourself, but CNN doesn't allow the sharing of their videos, so I would get hit with another copyright infringement, and then they demonetize my video. And if you've seen it on other sites, and you say, well, why can they share it and you can't, Gina? It's because those other sites are much larger. They make a ton of money off of monthly memberships from people on Patreon and other platforms like that. So they can afford to lose YouTube dollars. I can't. I have very few Patreon supporters and coffee supporters on a monthly basis. So the bulk of what I make comes from YouTube. So I have to behave. Anyway, it is what it is. So here's who these people are, these people in this focus group or in this panel, and here's what they had to say. So again, these are Pennsylvania voters, kind of an important state, right? There were 8 people in total. It was 5 men and 3 women, and 5 of them, I believe they said, were union members. They're with the United Auto Workers Union. So out of the 8, 6 said that they were ready to commit to voting for Harris after her speech. That included one white man who said before her speech he was 60-40, and then a white woman who said she was only 50-50 prior to Harris' speech. And the final 2 out of the 8, they were split between Trump and the couch. So one black man said he's voting for Trump, kind of indicated that like, oh, it's Trump's time, and then in 2028, I'll go for Harris, whatever, like as if their policies are remotely alike. I mean, this is the problem when you have people who don't pay attention to policy and they go based on vibes or, because it's all a bro thing and I like, his strength and it's a man and blah, 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 macho crap. Anyway, there was also a white woman who she said before she watched the speech, she didn't know if she was going to vote at all. She was still in that same place. So she said, I don't like either of them. I might not even vote at all. Regardless, like I said, 6 out of the 8 said, yeah, I'm going for Harris. After watching this, I'm going for Harris. So this is awesome. If we can extrapolate this out throughout the country, that would be incredible. The part of the segment I enjoyed the most, though, was seeing the look on the Trump humper's face who was with CNN after CNN hosts started discussing this panel and the results. So they had GOP strategist Scott Jennings on. He was there with other hosts on the show and other pundits to critique the Democratic convention and Harris' speech. He looked like he was either going to puke or he was going to cry, maybe both. I don't know, but it was fun. Anyway, reality is setting in. And speaking of which, former right-wing show host Eric Bolling completely melted down in a video, and he warned that MAGA is losing. So check this out.
You waited too long, Susie Wiles, Chris Lasividia. Get Corey Lewandowski in there and shake things up while you still have a chance. I'm not sure you still have a chance. We're losing. We're losing the race. We're losing the presidency.
So Eric Bolling, for people who don't know, he used to be a host on Fear News Network. Then he went over to Newsmax. So he is a MAGA influencer. He holds a lot of sway in this area, with that part of the country. And did you notice that he, like so many other Trump humpers, they don't blame Trump. They blame the campaign, right? They blame the campaign managers instead. Never blame their loser candidate who can't stay on message, who's clearly sundowning. So anyway, Bolling went on to talk about something that's going to make Trump's blood boil. Take a look at this clip.
Look at this. This is the ratings, not even including last night, the final night of the DNC, which they crushed it. Now, if you look, here's Fox News right here. And here is MSNBC. MSNBC is beating Fox News, beating Fox. It's unheard of. And look at over here. Very quickly, I'll show you Newsmax. Newsmax is just not even existent. You see Newsmax right over here? That's Newsmax. They're sliding every week. Newsmax is down 5 weeks in a row, maybe 6 since I left. Whatever. They're still not able to grab an audience. So no one's watching Newsmax. Fox is now getting beat by MSNBC.
So, ooh, that's going to smart, right? And it's true. I mean, the ratings have been way better for the Democratic convention than the Republican convention, which is such a big sticking point with Trump. And Bolling went on to whine about how Democrats are wearing camo hats, and those are ours, like as if they own camouflage, right? As if they have a copyright on camouflage. And then he was bitching about how the Democrats are taking back the moniker of patriots and like they're the true Americans. And then he melted down more about Fox and Newsmax, how they're losing to the media on the left, they're getting soft. Trump is feeling the heat. During Harris' 20 or 37-minute speech, the Daily Beast said that he posted 40 times on his failing social media site. 40 in 37 minutes. Think he's melting down? One of them was just, "Where's Hunter?" Like, oh, that'll get him. That'll do it. You just won so many more votes. Where's Hunter? I mean, he seriously can't get over losing Biden. I think he sits around listening to like love songs, like forlorn love songs about Biden. I mean, they say you never forget your first love. So sad. Anyway, here's what has them in a tizzy besides the incredible Democratic convention. So 538, which I've mentioned before, they're an aggregator of national and state polls. They now show Harris leading Trump by 3.3%. Harris has also opened up a major lead in a new national poll. So this one was conducted by a company called Bullfinch. Between August 19th and the 21st, it shows Harris with an 8-point lead over Trump with registered voters. 47% of poll respondents favored Harris compared to Trump at only 39%. Also, an Economist YouGov poll found that Harris has grown her lead with Hispanic voters. So at the beginning of August, Harris was leading Trump 51 to 36. So she was still leading, but the margin was much smaller. Now, in that same poll, Harris is at 54%, so she's picked up a few. Trump went down to 34%, so a 20-point lead. And the MAGAverse is said to be very concerned that Harris is getting too close for comfort in Texas. Texas, y'all. There was a poll that was conducted by the University of Texas, and Trump is up by just under 5 points. So 49.5%, that's where Trump is at. Harris is at 44.6. Now, do I think that Democrats are going to win Texas? No, but it is close. I mean, it's closer than they think, and they might have to actually spend some money there. So that's a good thing. Even the Democratic Senate candidate is gaining on Republican incumbent Ted Cruz. He is even closer to Cruz. So Cruz is up by only 2 points. And in this new poll, Harris is leading with women by 8%, 16% with Gen Z voters, and 21% with independents. That's all huge, but what really has Retrumplicans most upset and concerned is the fact that this poll shows Harris picking up support from people who didn't vote in 2020. So Harris leads Trump by 13% among Texas poll participants who did not cast a ballot in 2020. This is a perfect example of what I keep saying, because as I've mentioned before, so many of these polls, I think they're undercounting support for Kamala Harris, because typically they only survey likely voters, meaning people who voted in the last election. I think there are a lot of people out there who, even in 2020, they didn't want to vote for Biden or Trump. They didn't like either one of them. And I think that they were pissed off and they were disgruntled by having the same two choices foisted upon them again this year. You know, they're like, I didn't want these two guys in 2020. Now you're telling me we got them again? And now I think they're excited. They're excited to see someone new. They're excited to see someone younger who can string a full sentence together, who doesn't fall down, who doesn't, lose their train of thought or make up words or whatever. Ruby dooby doo. I mean, all that shit, World War II. I mean, yeah, they're like, okay, I can get on board with this. And, I'm sure some people out there are probably excited to vote for their first female president, right? A woman of color, too. Now, having said that, we need to keep in mind that because of our archaic electoral system, our electoral college system, what I call our participation trophy system, the Democrats have to be ahead nationally by about 5 to 6% to win. It sucks, but that is the way it works. Republicans automatically have a baked-in advantage because of that antiquated election system. And here's the bad news I mentioned. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that he is dropping out and he has endorsed Trump. So the guy is proven once and for all, he was always a spoiler, right? He was always a spoiler for Trump. He is nothing more than a grifter. Unfortunately, I don't know if his supporters will see that clearly. I don't know if they're going to, go with him, but they could swing the election to this convicted felon, this adjudicated sexual assaulter. And here's the thing, guys, you guys know I always shoot straight with you, whether it's good news or bad news. This is a big deal. I know there's a lot of people, or a few people, I should say, who commented when I mentioned this earlier that, oh, it's not a big deal. He doesn't have that much support. RFK Jr., yes, he lost a lot of support after Biden dropped out. And by all accounts, those voters moved to Harris, right? They were double haters. We hear about them all the time. But he still has a sizable chunk of the electorate that is more than enough to swing the election to Trump if his supporters heed his advice. You guys need to hear that. That is the truth. Don't let people fool you into thinking this is in the bag. This is not good because the race is still very close. And just a few people, just a tiny fraction of his supporters could swing this to Trump because of the electoral college system. Because all they need to do is swing a couple of states. And what's been consistent is the fact that Republican voters have a more favorable view of RFK Jr. than independents or Democrats. That has been the case in every poll that has been taken. So the question is, will his remaining supporters choose to stay home? Or are they going to go back to Trump and his, animatron running mate, J.D. Vance? I mean, seriously, the guy is so fake. He's so bizarre, really. He's so stiff and odd and just he's like another Ron DeSantis, honestly, He's like one of those animatronic figures you see in Chuck E. Cheese, I am a human. Believe me, look at my eyes blinking. I mean, anyway, the fact is, the people who are left over, the people who are still supporting RFK Jr., it is doubtful that they're going to move to Harris because I think they would have done that already, as a bunch of other people have. So we'll see. But this is not good. I just want to be upfront with you guys. So this could really shake things up, and I am concerned about it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, he has proven that he's just a piece of shit. Like so many people said, I wanted to not believe the worst about him. But yeah, RFK Jr. is in it only for himself, doesn't care about the country, doesn't care about the people in this country, clearly doesn't care about women, Because if he did, he has said himself, like, he is pro-choice. So the fact that he is now aligning himself with Donald Trump, who literally wants, regardless of what he says, based on Project 2025, they want an across the board abortion ban federally. They want it outlawed permanently, no exceptions for rape or incest, no ability to get, abortion pills, not even any birth control. They want to get rid of birth control. That is in Project 2025. And yes, Donald Trump's name is all over that thing. They've bragged about it, how, oh, see, he just has to say these things in public. But yeah, he's all for it. I mean, we've caught them on video saying things like that. So we know for a fact. And check this out, you guys. They keep saying, oh, we leave it up to the states. The states are going to make the decisions, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? A state, I want to say it was Arkansas. I need to go back and look at the article, but I believe it was the Arkansas Supreme Court just swatted down a ballot measure. So abortion would have been on the ballot in November for the people of that state to vote on that, to make a decision about the bodies of women and girls. I mean, I think that's gross anyway, having your neighbors telling you what you can and can't do with your own body. But at least it was going to be on the ballot. Their uber conservative state Supreme Court said, nope, we're not going to allow it. So there you go. That's what it's going to be like under Republican rule in America if we allow it, if we can't beat him in November. Anyway, like I said, we will see what happens. But yeah, I'm concerned. I really am. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So I will keep you posted. I'll keep you updated on all of this. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Have a great weekend. I will talk with you soon.